No, Bernard and Harry, Joe, Ellery's 61 amphibious base man. Let's see, All American, 1961. GPS Paso Robo, Rapist Night, Red Randy, Red Gordon, and Ellery's. Perlita, Bernard, and your team. Karen Faust, Country and Western. Basically, Bernard, it's this simple. If your fan base, loves you that much and they mimic and, do all the characteristics of your fag prison carny mode and all the ghetto life of the Perlita and all that stuff that you like, Bernard, it's the same prison that it always was. Because you're prison carny fag, Bernard. Because the groups of you moved through and didn't give a shit in the first place. Stan, Karen, it's not really that hard. Country and Western, ghetto life, Perlita, Elton Anderson, Don Wiley, all that shit. Bernard, wake up, dude. This is the same thing you all met with the last time. And the time before that, and the time before that. Because you're that fucking dumb. If Joe likes prison carny fag for their leaders, then, Bernard, you go, the prison is still the prison. I don't care if you made a nice little rainbow sunshiny thing on the other side. You're still in a prison. You're an abusive fag, Bernard, little faggot. Okay, David displayed his, supposed eye, you guys' broadcast, all that stuff. Guess what happens if you do an illegal broadcast, Bernard? And, let's see, Robo Knight and Harry. That's a prison. You the dumb fucker, Bernard, Perlita, Dave, Karen, Indian Fade Out, all that shit you all do. Understand? Same thing. Because it's your same workers, Bernard. It never changes with them because, they're fans of you and your stupidity. And then your little inbreed repeater around the world, Bernard. See, Bernard, you don't know what you're doing. You got a group of you have always been trying to fight and take it over. See, Perlita, 2 cows, two girls, get it? Then they, genetically modified, people. So if you like 2 cows, they made girls fat. Goats, all that shit. Then you guys dump it because you can't take it over or whatever. It's typical of that family. So you're still in a prison, Bernard, because you guys have always fought to take it over. And never really worked and thrown temper tantrums. It's the same war with you. You just wait longer so people forget, blah, blah, blah. Point is, Bernard, ever since you guys fucked it up, the groups of you fucked it up, it's never worked. And it probably never will. So, you can sit there and be a badass and all that shit, but guess what? It'll be the same. And it always has been. And it always will be. I don't have to respect your prison fag in your group, Bernard, because, you guys have always fucked up shit out here, professing that you always have been the one and all that shit with Perlita, but you haven't. So, you are the stank, Bernard, because your fans like the stank. And so that's what they got. Here, LA, Colorado, wherever you go. You run the same football ad with Perlita and Karen Bernard with the trucks and all that with truck driver Joe. You know why truck driver, that picture, that person looks like, starting to look like them or whatever? Because Joe is fans of prison fag. Rapists and shit. So if Harry and them like that lifestyle and you want the red zone and the sports carny football, Bernard, and how much type of people watch football? Understand? Oops. You're getting what you always wanted, Harry, Bernard, and Ellery, and Robo Knight. Always have, Red Randy. Team El Cortez. LGBT. That's what happens when you fly the rainbow, Bernard. Flash, flash, flash. Hide, hide, hide. Get it? That's the way the group of you have always ran, trying to take it over. So like I said, if Perlita wanted to become a genetically modified animal of inbreed, they let her. Doesn't mean they did it to try to take it over. It doesn't mean you're doing it right, though, Perlita. But Like I said, if you want a Jerry Springer ghetto rig it, they let you and look like a dumb fuck. But that's not how they used to do things. And Bernard, you and your group never knew how to do things correctly. And never will. I don't care anymore, Bernard, because as soon as the group of you ever got involved with it, like I said, the world's fucking sucked and been full of lies and shit. Like I said, why do you think they marked it up with the red people? Red Gordon, Red Robo Knight, Red Harry, Red Elton and his Negroes, red, so red. Because they knew the group of you a long time ago, Bernard fucked it all up out here because you didn't know what you're doing. It's kind of like finding disgruntled workers. I don't care, Bernard, because you all didn't have respect for it in the beginning. You'll never have respect for it anyway in the future. So they put you in a big one that's called a prison, Bernard, because you wanted to be prison carny fag, and they let you. And they let you guys run around and fuck people over and all that shit. Red Oswald. I mean, Bernard, it's not hard to figure it all out. And that's what you guys will always be. That's what happens, Bernard, when you guys are so overly obsessive and possessive that you don't allow anything to evolve. And so that's why we give the ladies control of it. Because they know you men a lot better. And then they, put you where you deserve. Because if they have to serve you food and stuff like that still, and you're grown adults, well then, they have a little more control than you'll ever have, Bernard the Fag. And your BB Carney 4 Circus and your blue boxes of, crybaby fag boys. Of the Indian fade out and all that shit. You got served. So if we have to hear Robo Knight go, shh, 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 the whispering faggot of Fairmount, shh, and Joe and Dave go, poof, 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 pooping. That gets old, Bernard, because you guys are broadcasting in an area that you might not want to do that with. And they've probably heard it from you people a million times before. So, Bernard, a lot of it is that the group of you are jealous that the military and the police and all those families are getting along, and they're actually getting it to work. And so I don't care if they mock me and stuff anymore, because some of them have been through the routine. Some of them it's getting so common they know it. But if they can get theirs to work and they're happy and they can, work with their children and their family members, so be it. I'm not going to get in their way. I know you're just so aching to get on with Karen and all them to do NBC Dateline and, get it all done. And so it nicely sweeps under the rug what some of you adults did in the past, because it's just how you fucking work. And that'll probably what'll happen, Bernard. But still, I get to call you a conniving, thieving, rapist, piece of shit coward. Because that's what the group of you are and did. And ran around with Perlita and covered it up and did all that shit. So you guys can run your Google. But still, Bernard, the primary rule out here still remains, because Joe Faggot Rapist Zillig, the Taco Boy, still did what he did. And, that's not going to change. And you'll still be in what is called a prison, because the group of you, Bernard, your fan base is in love with prison inmates who committed rape, murder, and all that, and they mimic that. That's what gangs are, Perlita. That's why I don't do gangs, see? That's why I don't do Blood Scripts, MS-13, all that shit. Because, Bernard, guess what? That's why I don't do cults either. Because guess what? So you can amass your army, Bernard, but guess what? You'll still be in a prison. Like it was. Because Dave and them are in love with that shit. That's why I asked you guys not to do things like tattoos, stuff like that. Because when you guys do it, guess what? That's your culture. That's fine. But guess what? Balmora, Dave, Perlita, Ellery's, you kind of always were in a prison a long time ago. And they figure out that that's what you like, Bernard. Because you're prison fag. Harry, Joe, Bernard. Because why would you hang and loom in that area and if you didn't like it? Because you guys actually like it. And so, you know, the obsession is revealed about some of you. All American. And so, if you're going to be the world leader example, Bernard, like the supposed military badass, guess what the other nations do? Model it. So wherever you go, you'll be in a prison, Bernard. Pairs of two, buns. See, they even indicate, you know, like I said, you guys cut people open to make them shit, Bernard. And then you blame the Negroes for it or whatever. But the whole point is, you know, pairs of two, you guys' obsession fighting over those girls. Pairs and pairs and pairs and pairs of two girls sitting next there. More pairs. You guys' delusional obsession all over the fucking planet Earth. Because you're a prison fag, Bernard. And that's what you'll always be. Because that's what you guys always wanted to be. You just pretend to be some civil, pure, clean being. But, you know, Stan and Joe sat on their asses to create their white purity and then threw a fit when it collapsed underneath them because they were prison fag. And they weren't prison fag out here a long, long time ago, Bernard. Most of you will never see that again and probably never will. So you could pretend to have ran it, Bernard, and all that shit with your group. Even Joe can pretend or whoever, but he never really did. And you could profess that the All-American was the greatest being. Like I said, I hope when they stick him in the cockpit, that, you know, he'll fail. Just like he failed the first times running his you guys' stench through. So, you know, Bernard. The ones who are dumb. This is the group of you that got together with the 70s debate club team and thought you were going to rule the earth. But really, people found out you're a bunch of hypocritical, you know, full of shit.